but you are treated like that. So I wanted that he should work in a different environment. So from the campus, he got selected in SR Gujarat. 3 years he was working there. And then I realized that he had worked in various capacities there. And he was due for promotion. And he was looking at a career in that time. And then I realized that if I don't ask him to join me, probably he'll pursue a different career. Because in my age, ये होता था कि भाई बिजनेसमैन का बेटा है, बिजनेस ही करेगा, भले पढ़ा लिखा है या नहीं है, irrespective of that. Now the times are changing. So the individual may have his own idea about the career that he may pursue. So actually, I was also struggling in my business at that time because I had more than one vertical and I was not able to do justice. So my son probably says that, and at the right time probably he joined my business. But what I did was, the particular vertical in which he joined, it was a mineral business which my father had established in 71. I totally withdrew myself from there. Because मुझे लगता था कि जब मेरे फादर मुझे सिखाना चाहते थे, मैं घर पे आता था शाम को पूछते थे और बेटा आज क्या किया, and you get kicked off. So one thing I decided was कि business and family, though it's a family business, but they should be kept separate. तो business से discuss करना है तो we'll discuss in office meeting और घर पे हम इसके बारे में कोई बात नहीं करेंगे. So I allowed my son entire freedom. और उसमें ये जरूर हुआ कि मेरा जो 40 साल का अनुभव है, कहीं कहीं शायद उसका फायदा उसको दे पाता. He got deprived of that also. But एक मैं आपसे साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा कि जो हमारा बिजनेस था in 70s, we were supplying mostly to industry जहाँ से पेमेंट हमको 3 महीने 6 महीने साल भर में. And we were in a competitive business where unhealthy competition existed. So what I did was कि 10 महीने पेमेंट आना, I made it my strength कि भाई इतना पैसा तो हमारा एक बार ब्लॉक हो ही गया है, अब 10वें महीने तो मेरे पास पैसा आएगा. So it's virtually like a regular cash flow for me. But it gives me a strength that every other person would not do that stupid thing कि 10 महीने से पैसा आ रहा है, साल भर से पैसा आ रहा है, वहाँ में मेटल सप्लाई. So I made it a strength. When my son joined me, he questioned me on that, and I said कि बेटा पैसा तो आज ही आ रहा है, जो ब्लॉक करना था वो तो मैंने ब्लॉक करके रख दिया है, you continue with that. तो he had different ideas कि जिस आदमी का पैसा समय से नहीं आ रहा है, मैं उसे क्यों मारूं? Because I also have certain commitments I have to run the business. So he decided differently. और मैं कुछ देख पाता, समझ पाता, उसके पहले उसने ऐसे सब सरप्राइज को मार देना था. और नतीजा आप देखिए कि हमारा टर्नओवर जो नॉर्मली हम बिजनेस में देखते हैं कि अभी विल ग्रो एंड यू आर ग्रोइंग. And at the same time, my borrowings were also, with the bank were also growing. पर उसने अचानक ये किया and our sales plummeted. 50% से भी नीचे हमारी सेल गिर के आ गई और हम बहुत मुश्किल में आ गए because if the top line goes, you know bottom line कहाँ जाएगी. So we were in a situation, creditors were after a life and in that kind of scenario. उस स्थिति में जाके, but gradually it again started coming up. And today the situation is कि जो business 45 साल तक बैंक से borrowings बढ़ाते ही जा रहा था, अगले 2 साल में when we'll reach a golden jubilee year, we'll be a zero debt company. And probably the top line I don't know where it will go, but I'm very pretty certain that we'll be at the best of the times. Bottom line is already better than what I had ever achieved in my life, and the top line again would be better. So I allowed him whatever he wanted to do. And now today there's a scenario like I completed the lab. I took the baton from my father. I handed over to him. अब मेरा काम खाली इतना है जो मुझे ये अनुभव हुआ कि मेरे अनुभव का एक दूसरे कहीं पे फायदा मिलना है. So we once a month we discuss our business. We have a review meeting or board meeting, whatever we can call it. मुझे जो कहना है मैं कहता हूँ. Otherwise मेरी मान्यता है कि ज्ञान आप उसको देंगे जो ग्रहण करना चाहता है. तो if I try to do spoon feeding, then he'll get ticked off. So I never did that. So this is how it has been with me. So of course it's a great privilege with Mr. Kirloskar being here. I think and the single family, we are sitting in PP single hall और जो single परिवार का हम देखते हैं अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है. I think ये discussion के अलावा हम खाली उसी को मॉडल को फॉलो कर लेंगे तो हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी जानकारी हो सकती है.
I'm not, I haven't experienced succession. In fact, I have registered succession. my father wanted me to do something with them. I resisted. In fact, it generally happens. The first generation entrepreneur is a very strong personality. And working with a strong personality like my father's is a difficult thing. And so I kind of resisted. He wanted me to be an engineer. I became a chartered accountant. And so on and so forth. So that the succession did not happen probably has hurt his business. That I resisted the succession efforts that he wanted to make hurt me in a sense. I really did not learn all that was to be learned from a first generation entrepreneur. And I think in terms of paths, we kind of got into a parallel kind of a situation where he committed the same mistakes which I have committed. It's only after a few years that I realized there could be a lot that could have been done if those I could have kind of been able to ride on his shoulders. So I think one of the important things with succession probably for the older generation is to make sure that the newer generation doesn't resist succession. And of course for the younger generation would be to accept it, to really have that patience, to see there is some value that has already been created. There is some value in the experience and the learning. If each business, if each individual were to learn everything on its own, there would be no need for universities, and we all would have been probably living in fear. So I think that's an important thing to think about.
Now you have to come again. Sure.
So I think my personal viewpoints are family, your parents. We are all very fortunate and lucky, like some of the earlier people touched upon. We've grown up in a very privileged way. Good education, good value systems, and we should consider that to be very lucky. Now, today's youth and what you make out of that opportunity that your family and your parents have given you is upon you. I think we are in a very fast-paced, changing world with a lot of innovation, a lot of new changes, a lot of growth opportunities happening in every field. And I think as a young person, you have to carve out your own path. Just because your family is in a particular business, whether it's manufacturing, chemicals, and so on, doesn't mean you have to go into that. If you prefer art, you want to travel the world, you want to do whatever interests you, please do that. So in my case, that's the position I was in. I got the best of education, went to the US, got a great undergrad degree, and actually did a job for 7 years at Deloitte & Touche, which was, which is one of the largest accounting IT consulting firms. And I think what that gave me was the family never pressured me to go one way or the other. I choose my own direction and decide what's best for me and try to discover what I like, what I did not like. And coming out of the Deloitte experience, when I saw this opportunity where startups that we work with needed the same level of consulting and outsourcing service, and we saw this opportunity, we went into it. Me and my dad, who were probably 30 odd years apart, we started this business as co-founders. He was very successful in his prior business, which he was still running. So we said, let's get going. Let's start something. We are seeing a new business line, a new opportunity. Let's roll up our sleeves and do all the tough work. And we pretty much did everything together, right from fixing the computers to accounting, HR, hiring people, delivering the customer service. You have to divide and conquer. And I think the family, even if it's generations apart, you have to put in your dues. And that's one of the things which I see today. The young youth who's coming into a big family business, does not want to put in the dues. They expect results within, 1, 2, 3 years of working in the business. And I don't think that's the right approach. I think business, your ancestors have put in the dues over decades of work. And I think you have to be patient. And you have to show up at work at time, burn the midnight oil, and then whether success happens or not, whether you get promoted to CEO or some fancy title, I think those are just the results of what you're doing. But it's the journey which you have to enjoy. And I think a lot of people do not enjoy the journey, and frankly, getting to the destination is just the final result. But if you're doing it that 9 to 5, 8, 10 hours of work in whichever industry, factory floor, office, traveling around, if you're not having fun, you're not growing, and you're more concerned about wealth equation of what you are pulling in versus your cousin or brother or father, I think you're looking at things the wrong way. I think that all follows, and if things are going well, you're doing well. I think it's very easy for people from the different generations to come together and look at the bigger vision of what we can do in this lifetime. You get one opportunity to do the best you can and have fun with it. That's my viewpoint in Steve.
Well, I think we see some very interesting themes that have already started to emerge. The fact that leave them alone. Let's not bring work back to the home. If two siblings are working together, there is always differences of opinion. So let's avoid that. And these are the dynamics between a family wanting a harmonious relationship with all its family members, and the fact that business is a risk-taking thing where conflict is just natural. And this is one of the core dynamics within a family business. And that is the reason why many families decide leave them alone. And that is the reason why, Manish said what he said. I didn't do exactly what my father thought I could do. And hey, I missed this opportunity of learning from you. These tensions, in business they are creative tensions where people have different opinions, should we do this, should we do that? You're at a crossroads, what is the decision we make? Like Ashok said, do I bring my working capital down? Some of the sales hit today and then grow the business, or I don't. So there was a view which dad took, there's a different view which son took. The rest of this is history. So these conflicts are the opportunity for a business to develop and grow. But they can sometimes be damaging to the family. And that is the paradox of the family business. Which brings me to my next question. How do you manage it? How do you manage these conflicts in business and harmony in family? Let's begin this time with Abhishek.
I think we've had a lot of differences of opinion right from the beginning, what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go, what exactly we wanted to do. So what came in this thing was that we said, okay, fine, you take the call. There have been times where I have taken the call and it's been wrong. Over time we realized that we've not matured enough or gained that experience, and we start taking these calls. And Mr. Kirosar said we become a little arrogant over time, not having the experience that our holders have gained, and we start taking the calls. And then after this we realize that no, this is not the right call. And during the time that we say, okay, no, we must consult and this thing. But in my case, now today, all the calls we consult and we take. And it's not that we just don't, we discuss business at home also, on the table also. I'm sorry to say that, but that's how it goes. And post dinner also we have a session where we discuss.
Nothing wrong with that. In many family businesses, dinner is usually a board meeting.
Yeah.
Manish?
Again, in terms of conflict, I started to see that firsthand as my wife joined my business and as my brother joined my business. So, for one, the conflicts have hurt our business, undoubtedly. That we do not have a great way of determining who is responsible for what, how do we measure each other's performance, what really happens when those kind of those performance do not really meet what is there. We haven't yet been able to evolve a great way of doing that, and we know all three of us, me, my wife and my brother, we know that it is hurting our business. We want to do. One of the things that we have tried and has worked for some time, to some extent, is we have involved other senior people not connected with our family, people which all of us, all three of us respect, all three of us has probably worked with, involved them as part of whatever you call it, a board or some kind of a resolution mechanism. So we have a group of companies, largely in the US, which kind of we come together, we talk about what we have done, and that has allowed us to be a little less emotional about each other's businesses. And at the same time, with the brothers being at the different parts of the globe entirely opposite to each other, it's impossible that we are not working 24 hours a day, that we are not talking business 24 hours a day. If a conversation is there where my brother has called up our mother and he is talking about what has been cooked for dinner, it would inevitably come to a situation where if I am around, I would say, oh, if you're talking to Navesh, give the phone to me, I have to talk about this project with him. So I think that's a strength. I think that if we can seamlessly move from one topic to another and really do not differentiate between what's work and what's life, everything is the same. That makes a lot of difference, because that allows us to fight about certain client and what we have done in a particular project, and at the same time talk about how well my the young kid has done in his school. So we can immediately balance out things. And I think that way, being in family, having a whole repertoire of topics to talk about beyond business has eased business conversations. Otherwise, it probably would have been much more difficult. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Well, friends, I'd like to divide this in two parts. One is how I handled the conflict with my father, and second, how I handled with my children. The first with my father, as I said, that he wanted me to educate, he wanted me to go for BCom, commerce education. I told him, sorry, I'd like to go for engineering. I went for engineering. I joined 80 clock mills as a senior management trainee, and I was put in a sugar mill. A textile graduate was put in a sugar mill, was totally frustrated. Again my father said, come back, it's the right time. I said, no, sorry. Then I went for education at Ahmedabad, but I realized that I need training. And that's the reason, immediately after passing from Ahmedabad, I did not start the business of the industry. I worked for good 11 years with Raymond Group, and I learned how to manufacture good textiles, how to put up the textile mills. And when I was given an opportunity in 1979 to put in a textile mill in a backward and a tribal area of Gangapur, I put in my first textile mill. But again, as rightly said by other panelists, how to get the guidance. So I decided, and director I am in the bar in those days was Ravi Mathai. So I went to him and he said, select right kind of people. Because my father said, I don't want to be on your board. My brother said, I don't want to be on your board. Because they were not confident that I will be able to put up a manufacturing unit at a place like Gangapur, which was very, very, very factory. Then I decided that I went to State Bank of India, at that time Chairman Mr. Goyal, and he guided me to get one person as a banker, another person as a solicitor, third person as an educationist. Like this, I made a product public because I wanted to come with my public issue. And with no background of this kind, people were not confident whether my shares will be accepted in the market or not. And that's the reason that board helped. Professor S. Kuchal would not be finance and he became the chairman of the company. And with that background, we were successful even in our first issue. We were successful. But I told we come to the second point now, the second conflict. That is the spectator. Yes, they were prepared accordingly, but as I rightly said in the beginning, that they were prepared from their childhood. They knew what are their responsibilities. Like I sent them for training. Because was sent to Switzerland company in Germany, where he was trained on textile machineries, how to use them. And was sent to the Carol Mountain firm, where he took their training, how to handle the finance, and all that. But when they joined, they had different ideas. And I had my different ideas. The very first difference was in the selection of team. They wanted always the team of the age of say 25 to 35. Whereas with me, the team was working of the age of 50 and above. So that conflict we had to sort out, and we agreed for starting in-house a cadre, which is very successful today also, and with that we are able to manage it. Otherwise there has been no conflict because the responsibilities were very well defined. One was handling the manufacturing, the other was handling the finance, company law, and the company. Thank you.
Yes, in my case, we've never had conflict. I think in 12 plus years of doing this business, I can't remember one situation which I would call a conflict. I think we have a lot of healthy discussions, a lot of debate, a lot of brainstorming sessions. And out of that, because there's mutual respect and we've proven each one's capabilities and the work we've done to build the business, I think the outcome, the result is just flows through. So there's never really a conflict. I think the day any business, whether it's run by family members or friends or brothers and sisters, if you start having conflicts which get to a personal level, then you should rethink the equation and why you're working with that person. So I think it's great for business to grow, have healthy debates, but I think there's no place for conflict, and we haven't luckily had that. I don't see that happening. And it's also how you structure the work and responsibilities and decision-making powers. I think till it's very well defined over time of who does what, and you respect each person's capabilities and decision-making, who conflict hote hi nahi, because you are seeing the results. Out of every 10 moves, 2 may backfire, and that's fine. I think till you're making progress and not going backwards, and each one is doing their role, you're having fun, and that's the motive of growth. And over time, actually, we started talking less and less about work, even in the office or outside of work. We hardly talk. Initially, first couple of years, it was all the time. But as things get more structured and well defined, the need becomes less.
Yeah, so very briefly, as Kunal said, there should not be any conflict, but difference of opinions would be there, and it should be always encouraged. And as Ashu said, though we are a business family, so if an important client is visiting, बात होगी, कुछ और business में discuss हो जाएगा. But I feel कि decision should be taken in the boardroom. Though I run a very small business, but मुझे लगता है कि घर में जब बात करूँगा तो I'm father to Abhinandan. That will always be there. Maybe when I'm sitting in the boardroom, it gets slightly diluted probably. So we can talk as equals. And to make it more reasonable, I always ensure that my senior executives who be sitting there, my chartered